Open-source large language models are becoming a core part of modern enterprise AI strategy, but there's a growing risk we tend to overlook: supply chain attacks through model downloads. When you download a model from Hugging Face or any third-party source, you're not just pulling in a neural network. You might also be bringing in scripts, binaries, or even obfuscated malware. And if that lands on your system without checks, it can compromise your infrastructure. To handle this risk, we've built a framework named Bud Sentry within Bud Runtime, expanded as secure evaluation and runtime trust for your models. It creates a true zero-trust model ingestion lifecycle, from download to Sandbox to scanning to gated storage and monitored inference. As a part of this, the entire model download and pre-processing happens inside a secure sandbox. It's like putting the model in a cage. No access to your real file system, no network, and no shared processes. Then it scans everything, not just the model weights, but every file. Bud check for executables or compiled binaries, suspicious shell scripts, embedded payloads, known malware signatures, and even hard-coded URLs. This sandboxing and scanning approach protects against a bunch of threats like malicious scripts or payloads embedded in the repo, targeted supply chain attacks using model hosting platforms, local privilege escalation if a script tries to access sensitive files, network exfiltration or C2 callbacks, persistent threats trying to establish long-term access on your system. Even though Hugging Face Safetensors are purpose-built to avoid several critical security vulnerabilities, they are not completely devoid of risks. For example, there are active attack vectors even with Safetensors, such as tainted model metadata, Trojaned weights, malicious loader integration, deserialization bugs. That's why the Bud platform adds an extra layer of model weight scanning, even if it's a Safetensor, to identify and mitigate such vulnerabilities. Even after a successful scan, we move the model weights to a secured object storage until it is used for inference. Even during the inference time, we have deployed active monitoring tools to identify any privileged access, unusual file or network access, and more to ensure that there are no missed vulnerabilities that are compromising the security of the system at any given point in time. While all of this may sound overwhelming, the Bud runtime hides all these complexities and allows you to accomplish it with a single click in just a few seconds, without needing to understand any technical details. Let's take a quick look at how this can be done through the Bud runtime GUI. We'll start by adding a model from Hugging Face. First, click on the Add Model button in the Model Repository section of Bud runtime and choose the modality of the model. There are several ways to add a model, but for this demo, I'll be using the Hugging Face option. Now enter the model details, including the model name and the Hugging Face URL. I am using a small model here so that it doesn't take a lot of time to download it. Then select your Hugging Face credentials to begin the import process. This might take a couple of minutes. When a model is downloaded, it is first placed in a secure sandbox environment. This ensures that even if the model is vulnerable or malicious, it cannot harm your system. And there it is, so the model is now added. Next, you'll see the option to scan the model. Let's run the scan to check for security vulnerabilities. The scan is now complete. A total of 4 files were analyzed, and one critical issue was detected: the use of an unsafe operator. While we still allow you to continue with the model onboarding process, it may cost you if there are vulnerabilities. So we always recommend not proceeding with model onboarding if any vulnerabilities are detected. So that's the Bud Sentry for you. It makes sure every model download, even from a trusted platform, goes through a zero-trust flow, from download to execution. If you're working with open-source models in production, sandboxing, scanning, and active monitoring aren't just nice to have. It's essential. We believe that it's better to be super paranoid about your security than be super sorry. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.